Hello, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Ted. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun one. Folks, Buffalo hates to see this boy coming. Or maybe they love to see this boy coming. I've actually never been to Buffalo. I need to come on a record. I want to get very close for this. I love chicken wings. It's the closest type of caveman food that I can think of. You're literally just eating meat off of a bone. I'll pick those bones clean. I clean my bones. Folks, I clean my bones. This is a recipe I kind of created. I kind of took some inspirations from people like Samin Nosrat. Probably mispronounced that name, but maybe I did it. You know what? Believe in yourself, future Ted. Thanks, I will. I will get into the recipe in a moment. And by in a moment, I mean right now. But first, let's hear from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by... I don't take sponsorships, so just a friendly reminder that that's still happening. To be clear, nobody's reached out because whatever this is doesn't really market well, but I'm not going to contribute to the advertising hellscape that we live in. This video is sponsored by no one. Check out no one. Hey, let's hop into the kitchen and let's get cooking. Ugh. Awful. No. Let's hop into the kitchen and let's get cooking. See you there. See you there. See you there. See you there. Whee! So for this recipe, I did a few different camera setups. So I hope you like them. If you do, great, let me know. If you don't, also great, let me know. I'm open to feedback. I'm here to make the best possible product. Purely for me, purely for we. Maybe that's my new slogan. Who knows? If you're going to be working with raw chicken, I highly encourage you to be very mindful of cross-contamination. I took my big-ass bowl, and then I put a big-ass Ziploc inside the bowl. Then I took the wings, and I put them into the plastic bag. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, the reason I'm doing this way is because I want to make sure that if the bag leaks, it won't drip all over my fridge. And it's a good thing that I did it this way, which you'll find out later. I had about 4 pounds of wings. They were not trimmed, so the little tip was still on them. Now, if you really wanted to be thorough, before you start brining these, you could trim the wings. I like the whole wing. If you get a little squeamish about that, you can trim the wing by cutting right into that joint. Those little wing ends are great for stock or chicken broth. I like to leave that on because I like to crunch on it because it gets really crunchy, and more on that later. Or maybe none of on that later. Nothing on that later. That's the end of the thought. We're not going to return to it. We put our bowl in the sink. Let's talk about what's going into the brine. I have about 3.5 cups of buttermilk. I have some pepper from my white grinder, salt from my little BB wooden dispenser. I tried to add salt from my black grinder and it doesn't dispense salt. I do not have the right salt crystals for it. I'm pretty sure I have to buy some chunky Himalayan pink salt crystals for it to ever work. Maybe I'll do that someday, or maybe it'll just sit unused on my counter for another 1.5 years. I added some fish sauce as well, about a tablespoon or so. I did kind of eyeballed this. I have some Gojugaru, which is a Korean red chili flake. If you can't find it, check out H Mart if you have an H Mart in your area, or an Asian grocery store. If you don't have either of those things, I've been there. I grew up in a place that had Safeway, and that was it. Red chili flake will suffice. From there, with all these things in there, I sealed up the bag, mixed it up. I mixed it up, and then the bag opened immediately and dumped that brine right into the bowl. And folks, this is why I used a bowl. It turned out that using the bowl here worked out. A bunch of the brine spilled into the bowl. I took the brine, poured it back into the Ziploc bag, then sealed it as well as I could. I rinsed the outside of the bag because I just put raw chicken juice all over my sink and all over everything that was in the sink. Fortunately, it was nothing. Squeeze out as much excess air as possible. I put the bag in the bowl in the fridge. I put the bag in the bowl in the fridge. I put the bag in the bowl in the fridge. I put the bag in the bowl in the fridge. The next thing you want to do is touch everything else in your kitchen.
No!
That's a joke. Don't do that. The next thing you want to do is wash your hands thoroughly. And here's a real life time capture of me washing my hands. Washing my hands. for 20 seconds.
My neighbor just got home.
Don't at me.
I don't know if you heard that.
And that's about 20 seconds. So once I've washed my hands, I then sanitized my sink. Now I use a mixture of, it's about 30% water, 30% white vinegar, and then like another 30% like 90% rubbing alcohol. It's probably not the ideal mix if you have a homemade mix for sanitizing things that you use. I could also use like a Clorox wipe or something, but I find it works, and I haven't succumbed yet. Or maybe I'm filming this and it's posthumous when you're watching this and I'm shuffled off this mortal coil. Why am I talking about death? We're here to talk about something that is joyful. Joyful wings. Joyful, joyful wings. We adore thee. Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore. So that's all the prep we did. We want to let this sit in the fridge for about 24 hours. So let's go to bed and let's wake up the next day.
The next day.
It's another beautiful day. Wake up. Good morning. Good morning. I set the bowl back in the sink. I then took some trays. I have two pretty large sheet pans that I then lined with like those cooling racks. With the tiny little squares on them. And I lined the trays with foil. But if you want to follow along with this recipe, make sure that you line the trays a bit more thoroughly than I did. Maybe like have it go over the edges so that it doesn't like drip underneath the foil. And then on the cooling rack that you put in the tray, make sure to spray it down with like Pam or some other cooking spray. This will make your job so much easier because it's not going to stick to the rack in the tray. At this next point, your trays are prepped. I put on some gloves just for sanitation purposes, but these gloves also make me feel like a serial murderer. It's a meme that I made. It's a meme. I like memes. All right, I took the wings and I spread them onto each tray. I'd say there was probably about 12 per tray. I thought I could get them all in one. That was a fool's errand. So I just put them all on the tray. So I have the oven preheated to 400 degrees. I have a rack on the top third and on the lower third, and I pop those trays in the oven for about 30 minutes before I'm gonna rotate them, because you're gonna rotate them, flip them over in a moment. I will say this though, if you are using wings that are smaller and that they're trimmed, like the little end parts are trimmed and you actually have the drums and the flats, you might wanna lessen the cooking time, because the hour for the full wing was perfect, but if they were smaller, you might overbake them. Now, this takes a while. It's about an hour of baking time, right? The next thing you want to do while these wings are baking is make the blue cheese dressing. I'm a blue cheese boy. Nope, I'm a blue cheese boy. I'm a blue cheese man. I'm a blue cheese girly, okay? I said I was a blue cheese boy to them, but I'm talking to you directly. I'm just going to say I'm a blue cheese man. I identify as a man. I'm a blue cheese boy. I'm a blue cheese human. You're a blue cheese they, them. You're a blue cheese person. You are a human on this earth who likes blue cheese. Great. If you are not, that is fine too. Just don't put the blue cheese in. Put some herbs instead of the blue cheese. This is still a recipe that will work for you. Okay? All right. I'm really glad that we talked. I'm proud of you. All right, let's talk about what went into this blue cheese dressing. Half a cup of buttermilk, half a cup of sour cream, and I used half a cup of Kewpie mayo. Now, you might be saying, that's a lot of very heavy cream-based items. And you know what? You're right. It is. Are you waiting for like a healthier option? It's not going to happen. Although it probably should. Let's be real. Actually, you know, if you want to make it healthy, you could do like non-fat yogurt or something. I don't know how good that's going to taste, so don't at me. Don't come into the comments and say, hey, I made a completely different recipe. So why does it suck now? Look, let's just talk about the blue cheese recipe. Live your truth. Let's keep going. I added some garlic powder, some salt and pepper. I even added a little more fish sauce, a bunch of lemon juice, and then I cut up about 3 ounces of blue cheese that I mixed in there. This is a Point Reyes blue cheese. It's really nice, really good. Once you have everything mixed together, taste it. Taste it. Okay, look. So many times I've had a cooking fail has been because I haven't tasted the thing as I've been going. Taste the blue cheese dressing. If you take a bite and you're like, this is awesome, great. Or if it hasn't really gotten there yet, add some more lemon juice, stir it up, and then, this is the key part, put it into the fridge. Sometimes things just need a couple hours in the fridge just to like melt, and this is one of those things. You could even make the blue cheese like a day in advance, and it would probably taste awesome the next day. Excuse me. After about this point, it had been about 30 minutes, I rotated the trays and I turned the wings over on the trays and put them back in for another 30 minutes. That's an hour total of cooking time. Now, in the meantime, while those wings are baking, I said, I want to set up my camera. I got some incredible footage of this buffalo sauce that I was making. And then what happened? I don't know. The footage is gone. I can't find it anywhere. I want to recreate this recipe using images in Keynote and probably some stock footage. Let's do that right now. I took some mustard seeds, put them in the bottom of the pot. I just took about a pinch. I don't know, just like, it was maybe like 15 seeds. Turn the heat on about medium. Let those toast for a little bit. I don't think this made much of a difference. Maybe it would if I had fresher mustard seeds. Maybe if I used different types of seeds, it would have worked, but that's just what I did. Then I added about 3 tablespoons of butter, let that melt, and I added about a half a cup of Crystal hot sauce. I added about 2 tablespoons of pepper plant hot sauce and about 2 tablespoons of Tapatio hot sauce. From there, I added more pepper from the white grinder. I added a little dash of salt. No, I didn't. I didn't add any salt. Once again, I did not add salt. I added pepper. Then I added about a tablespoon or 2 of Chinese black vinegar. I'll show a vector of what that bottle looks like here. You can use apple cider vinegar. Maybe even a sherry vinegar could be nice. Something that had balsamic might be interesting because it might add a little sweetness to it. I just like to add a little vinegar because it adds a little more of the, sort of makes it pop. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, whatever this was, recreating this footage because I didn't want to make more buffalo sauce without any wings. Hey guys, it's Ted in the editing bay. I didn't mention this part, but you want to let everything simmer and stir it up, and that's basically it. Okay, back to the video. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks. Okay, we're back. So after about an hour, your wings should be done baking, and they should look really good and crispy, like nice, crisp. They should be in a really good spot. I took the wings off of one tray, added about half the sauce to a bowl, tossed the wings in that bowl, and then I put those wings back on the tray. The next thing I did is I took the second tray, put them in the same bowl, poured the rest of the sauce over them, tossed them around. The wings were very hot coming out of the oven, so that sauce just kind of, just like, it just flew right off of the wings. So I did something a little bit differently. This is a point where I improvised, but I would highly encourage you to do this next step. Put all those wings back on the same tray because they're going to shrink up a bunch, so they should all fit on one tray. Then, with this preliminary layer of sauce, put them back in the oven at like 500 degrees for another 5 minutes. And this is what the wings looked like in the oven. What this does is it solidifies the sauce on the wings and gives a nice layer and almost a nice texture to them as well. Once the wings came out of the oven, there's still some residual sauce that I tossed the rest onto those wings. That was a crazy sentence. That sentence was wild. That sentence was crazy. Let's try that sentence again, huh? Stop going to sleep, computer. I'm just a man yelling at his computer alone in his house. Neighbors are looking at me. Hello, subscribe, like and subscribe to my channel, please. You take the sauce, the leftover sauce in the bowl, and I drizzled it over the rest of the wings, and then I just threw a dash of cilantro on top too. I just thought that was fun. Wings are ready. Plate up those bad boys. Put them on a plate with your blue cheese dressing. I put it in a little ramekin. We had some friends come over. They brought some delightful celery and carrots from the farmer's market that were so good. I don't think I've ever tasted celery that was so layered in my life. The next thing you want to do, make sure to let them rest for about like 15 minutes. And this allowed the rings of power. Hey, Amazon, I have an idea for a show. It's called the Buffalo Wings of Power. And it's just a bunch of dudes. Or whomever. They don't have to be dudes. There's just a bunch of people who love wings going on a quest to find wings. Don't steal that idea. Okay. This always happens. I'm so close to getting to the end of the video, and then it's wee, silly, blah, 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 ramble time. The bottom line is I took about 15 minutes between the wings coming out of the oven and eating them, and what happened was the wings were perfectly juicy. The buttermilk brine made them fall off the bone. They were so easy to eat. I probably ate about 20 of these wings. I ate a lot of them. My guests were like, oh, can we have some more? And I was like, no! This thing keeps falling off. The pops, Ted. The pops. You can't You cannot let the pops escape. And that's it. That's the video. If you liked this video, thanks so much for watching. I love chicken wings and I love you. And if you want to engage, if you want to hit me up, if you want to participate in more than just comments in this strange parasocial YouTube situation we find ourselves, I do have an email address that I'll put in the description and on screen right now. So send an email to cookingwithtedmailbag@gmail.com if you want to troll me or send me positive affirmations or send me suggestions for things to make or thoughtful and constructive feedback about these videos. The bottom line is I really have a lot of fun making these videos. So if you want to subscribe, go ahead. I'm not going to put any sponsored content into these videos. I'm really just here to make some food, have some fun, and I hope that this brought you at least a little bit of joy. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe for more if you want to check it out, and hit me up if you want to hang out. This was a cooking video. I'll probably be making videos about more non-cooking things as I've mentioned previously, but I really appreciate you for checking this out. Thanks for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, big kiss to you. I hope you enjoyed this, the wings. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the journey, and I'll see you next time. I didn't say bye. Bye.